Sometimes, that feeling is all we need to be all in. Sometimes on soaps, we can see characters' returns coming from a mile away. Other times, we're blindsided by an appearance out of nowhere. And while we'll admit that it's been a little while since we've thought about Days of Our Lives Eve, now that we have, well, if there was ever a time for her to come back, this would be it. Related story: Days of Our Lives spoilers, October 24th to November 4th. Yes, the last time Eve was around, she snapped and went off the deep end, bombing Ben and Sierra's wedding, kidnapping the groom and trying to brainwash him into murdering his bride. Okay, when you put it like that, it sounds pretty bad, and it is. But back during his serial killer days, Ben murdered Paige, Eve's only daughter. She was a grieving mother, pushed over the edge by grief. And while she was sent to prison for her crimes, the show just had half of Salem's bad guy population freed in a mass pardon, and a good chunk of that crowd was utterly irredeemable villains. Surely, the show could come up with a way for Eve to come back, just as Jennifer's off in rehab and Jack is left alone and still grieving over Abigail's death. He's vulnerable and alone, just the way Eve likes him. Sure, this time he doesn't have amnesia for her to take advantage of, but he does have a secret she could use if she managed to dig it up: Jen's hit and run of Gwen. Leo failed to leverage it to blackmail Jack out of a fortune, but scummy as the con may be, Eve's been at this game far longer than he has. If she sets her mind to something, she can make it work. And if she wants to use Jen's drugged-up indiscretion, she would. And with Matthew Ashford about to celebrate 35 years as Days of Our Lives Jack, it certainly feels like the perfect time to give him a major storyline. If only. In the meantime, we did get a Days reunion of another sort with Eve, as Cassie DePaiva and Wally Kirk reunited on the set of another project, the short film, Common as Red Hair. The two play husband and wife, which is a nice little tease of what could have been, since Eve and Justin bonded and even began a brief relationship in the wake of Paige's murder. It sure was a pleasure to be on set again with the kind, generous, and talented Wally Kirk, she tweeted. It just felt right. As fan Jen G replied, I loved when you and Justin were paired. Would have been a nice couple. Yeah, they would have. Plus, they get bonus points for Justin wanting to be with Eve. Not everyone is that lucky, like Jack. These days, of course, Victor's nephew is happily married to Bonnie, but that doesn't mean Eve couldn't come back to stir up trouble for both him and Jack. Heck, if Jack doesn't work out, it's always good to have a backup in mind. And seeing Bonnie and Eve go at each other might just be as fun as Eve and Jennifer butting heads. What do you think? Should Eve make her Salem return soon? While you ponder, check out our photo gallery of all the stars who have returned, or returning to Days of Our Lives.